Last time I built 3 key farms in this mineshaft that combined produce a whole bunch of andesite. We've got that cobble gen over there which comes down into here to get turned into soul sand, which comes down a little bit further to get turned into quartz, and then that's mixed with even more cobblestone to get turned into diorite, which is then mixed with more cobble to turn that into andesite. And today I'm going to be using all of those things and adding in a bunch more farms, all aimed at producing... Wow, thanks trade. Zinc! Zinc is a very valuable resource. It's not only used for a whole bunch of crafting, but it's also used for all of the copycat blocks and things like that. And whilst it does exist in patches in the world in places somewhere, sometimes, here's some I prepared earlier for this demonstration, it's pretty tricky to get hold of in mass quantities. But don't worry peeps, we can craft it. All we gotta do in order to get a 10% chance of getting some zinc is run some tuff through some crushing wheels. And in order to get tuff, we just need some andesite and diorite and some lava in a basin. And we're already producing most of those things. However, this system here actually eats all of the diorite in order to turn it into andesite. So we are gonna have to modify this to make more andesite, but we do have a little bit of a lava farm going on. A little bit further around this squirrely minecart track, just over here in this little corner, miles away from everything else, right at the top of my mine. But this little dripstone lava farm has produced me a whole bunch of lava already, but it's kind of in a bit of an awkward place. You see, this minecart goes all the way up and down this track constantly, collecting the cobblestone from the top, bringing it down to the next section, and so on and so forth until it gets all of the way down to the bottom. And if you watch my last video, you'll know that I want all of the precious things producing further down the mine, because I think that kind of makes sense. So zinc is going to be going lower down, but our lava's further up. So I think we might have to move it. But before we move the lava farm, we actually need to modify this train. And that's because at the moment it's having to drop off 2 lots of cobblestone to do different places. We're also dealing with andesite and soul sand in this same truck here. And that's going to get complicated when everything starts filling up. And I've got a way of actually making all of this a whole bunch easier and a whole bunch better. But in order to do that, I'm going to need to get this guy to go to the tops and stop. We can make some modifications. And here he comes. All I gotta do is break that track and he's gonna get very confused, which is all we need. I'll have your schedule, thank you very much. And while I'm at it, let's just sit you down there for a second. All I'm gonna do is disassemble this train, and now I need to smash these bits to bits so that I can get inside these bits. That makes sense. But before I get too far inside these bits, I actually need to go somewhere else. Good morning, donkeys and llamas. Because what I'm going to be doing is replacing those item vaults for toolboxes. And for very good reason. What's the reasons? I'll tell you. Jeez, give me a minute, mate. So toolboxes are very useful things, and that's because you can set what you're going to have inside of them. There are 8 slots. Each slot can hold up to 256 items, and let's say, for instance, I was to put a stack of cobblestone in there and then take it out again, it remembers that cobblestone's supposed to be in there, and that means nothing else can go in that slot. So using this, I can actually determine exactly what I want to go in each of the toolboxes so that we don't get any confusion with it picking up the wrong thing. And for our needs, I actually only want 16 stacks of cobblestone being distributed at any time. And 16 stacks is just 4 of these slots, which means I actually need 3 of these slots free, but I don't want extra cobble to go in those, so I'll just throw some sticks in there as placeholders. And now when I swap out an item vault for that toolbox, it's only going to be able to carry 16 stacks of cobble. So I'm just going to break my way in there, remove this item vault, and stick that toolbox in there instead. Now the other toolbox needs to be able to hold soul sand and andesite, and possibly other things as well later on, like diorite I guess. So this time I'm going to have 2 stacks for andesite, 2 stacks for diorite, and the rest is going to be soul sand. And if we need to carry any more items, I can either adjust those slots or add in more toolboxes, or even add in more minecarts if I need to. So this is a much more flexible system. And throwing that back in there, and then putting my little minecarty thing back together again, we should now only get the bits that we need. And that means we can reassemble this, give you your job back. Oh, that's always a tricky thing to do, isn't it? On there, in you go. On your seat, mate. That's it, good job. And now if I replace the track again and give this guy his schedule back, he should just carry on doing what he was doing. Although I'm going to have to make some slight adjustments because that needs to be exactly 16 stacks of cobblestone now. And then I guess less than 9 stacks in there. Now it's going to be all evenly distributed. Perfect. Off you go, sir. So I've used a bit of this andesite andesite now to process a whole bunch of stuff into many spare resources. I've now got a whole bunch of blocks of andesite alloy, which I've been able to restock my create box with. However, I've now got no iron. Looking back in my little jewel box, I've got 33 iron ingots and 14 iron nuggets. But I think we've got plenty of stuff to be getting on with the next phase of this, which is to increase our diorite production. However, this thing has actually backed up because we've also filled our andesite production, which is very nice. But anyway, we're going to need more. So I got to figure out how I'm going to get more of this and get them both out into the train, which is not here. I think I've got a plan. And that plan, of course, means tearing all of this to pieces. So, I should probably leave that there so I know where it needs to go, but I'm going to have to get rid of everything else. And now we're just going to shoot diorite across here like this, which is not very ideal, so I suppose I should get rid of this as well. So now I've got a clean canvas to start with. It shouldn't be too much of an issue, just putting a whole bunch of stuff here to produce all of that over again. However, this time I'm going to organise it slightly differently, starting with our mechanical crafters, probably around about at this point here, coming across this way, maybe a row back. And having that belt there, that means I can stick a mechanical crafter on at this point here, and I can put another one at this point here as well. Why not? And in order to feed them, I'm going to do exactly the same thing as I did before, having some of the storage interfaces at the back here, and the same just behind that one, which is now in the wrong place. But this time, instead of just having one arm feeding the crafters, I'm going to have two for each one. Although I will need to set these up properly in a moment, but that's how it's going to be. And that means I need a few depots in front of these as well as a whole bunch of these brass funnels on the back. And now I just need to set up the item filters on those. And of course I'm going to need more brass funnels on the backs of these, which are also going to need filtering for the correct items as well. So now with these arms, I can dedicate one of them just to the quartz and pop that on there, and then one of them to the cobble and pop that on there, which of course needs doing for both sides. And after a little bit of jiggery pokery with some chain drive and some cogs, we've now got a system that's creating diorite twice as fast, twice as much, and putting it all into this little box here, which is then going to feed out onto this belt here and go into our storage interface. And I've got another belt set up here to come from our andesite box. But of course now we're not producing andesite, so I'm going to set a little andesite production thing up just over here where we've got some space, and that should be everything we need in this section. And that should just be a case of throwing in a couple more storage interfaces in here, having a basin with a mixer on top, which is going to need to come out of something, so that probably needs to be a block higher up. The items for this are going to come out onto those depots there, and then we're just going to take the items out of there onto that depot and have them feed straight into another interface, which is going to be the andesite, which means we need a funnel going in there, two funnels coming out of these ones. We need another mechanical arm that's going to take from there and put it in there, and that's just going to sit up there, and then we just need power to those, and that's it. So the only thing left to do is to power these belts, which are going to send the items out into the train, and that's either going to be a case of shoving one of those on there. No, of course it's not, because it's all going to go backwards, so let's take that off there, put that there, and one of those there, and another one there. And there we go, they're all going the right way. So then all we need here is a brass funnel on the back of there like that, a brass funnel on the back of there, and all of those items can start coming out towards the interface. So now I just need the train, and I don't know where the train, it's not been down here for ages, so I'm assuming it's got confused somewhere. Oh, and here it is. It's at the cobble place. Why are you not going? You've got all of the cobble you can carry. Why aren't you going anywhere, sir? Exactly 16 stacks. Oh no, you've got more than that. Oh, okay. Fine. We'll do it on more than 16 stacks then. Jeez. Off you go. You should be able to go. There we go. Oh, it's all started to work out quite nice. Ow, Lee. Who's Lee? No, nice Lee. Oh, jeez. I didn't mean Lee. I want to know Lee. There's no one called Lee. And any second now, the train should come whizzing round this corner and start picking up all of this good stuff, and hopefully it's all going to start going inside the train, which means we'll have room in there for creating more diorite, which is already happening because it's all gone on. Oh, this is wonderful. Don't tell me you're stuck there now. There's no room for soul sand? Why is that belt going backwards? What on earth is going on? What? Huh? What? I didn't fiddle with those belts. Is this one going the right way? That one's going backwards now as well. What? I didn't change the direction. Okay, well, that's fine. We shall change the direction, which now means that one's going the wrong way, but that's okay because underneath here there's actually a gearbox which I can replace with a shaft, and that means all of that should start going in the right direction. This doesn't matter because they can go in either direction. So now is everything happy? Yes, that's happy. Did you pick anything up? Oh, jeez. Okay, let's see this again. So at this point, it's dropping off the soul sand. That's working. That's nearly all gone. Oh, and it did pick up the andesite and diorite because it's full of those with our new toolbox system. So it literally can't pick up any more because the slots in the toolboxes are full. So that means it's time to start a whole new area and dig out a whole big another room so that this train's got somewhere to drop all of that off. And we can turn it into tasty tuff and then some tasty zinc and iron and copper and all the good stuff. Oh, it's going to be good. And I'm going to be building that right down at the bottom of this hill down there. Any minute now, maybe. God, that's a long way down. I kind of feeling this corner might be better. But I wanted the raw materials, the iron and the zinc and stuff to come from down there. For no reason other than that's just what I had in my mind. But I kind of like this spot here. This spot is very close to that. Yeah, no, we're doing it here. Not going down the hill. We're doing it here. So here we are. We've got another decent sized space to play with. But we've got quite a lot of things to squeeze in here. Of course, we're going to need to bring our andesite down and the diorite, and we're going to need lava too in order to process all of that into tuff, which isn't a particularly complicated thing to do on its own. And then all we need is some crushing wheels in order to get all of these different materials out of it, which again is not particularly complex. But lava. Currently, my lava is a long way away squirreling around this mine. However, going back the other way, it would be much easier to show you that in free cam so we can get a good idea for exactly how this is all laid out. Here's the room we're currently in at the moment. Through this wall is the room where we're producing all of the andesite and diorite. And hopping into the wall, there's a creeper apparently. Right, okay, that's fine. He can't go anywhere. We've got our soul sand production over here and right up, further up, somewhere around here. There we go. There's the lava. So the lava is all the way over here, and what we're doing is down there, which doesn't seem all of that far away, and it would be quite easy to pump it down. But if we are trying to find some sort of realism in this, it would make sense that lava is actually produced a little bit further down the mine. And I think it makes sense to do a little bit of smashy, because as I'm sure you've noticed, the only way I can get in and out of these rooms is to follow the train track around, which is quite a slow and weird way of doing things, especially considering we have a mine shaft elevator here just ready to go. So wouldn't it make more sense to have little walking tunnels down from the mine shaft elevator shaft to all of the different things and different levels? For instance, at our tree farm part here, it really shouldn't be too difficult to just do a little bit of smashy through this wall, and eventually, after many years, there we go, come out directly at our tunnel. So this could be our first stop-off point. That makes sense, right? But digging big tunnels aside for a second, we actually need to consider our fuel source. At the moment, we've got 14,000 coal, which is running our power station, and that might seem like quite a lot, but a couple of days ago, we had 60,000 coal in here. And that's because I have to be in this room for our wither skeleton farm, which is providing the coal to actually generate the coal. So with us moving the lava farm around, it kind of makes sense that we run off lava as well. And now my tunnels are dug and my elevator has a whole bunch of things all of the way down it, just sort of floating at the moment to all of the different places. So if we go down to level 4, for instance, there's a little sign saying workshop and wood farm in that direction, and we can go all the way down to 0, which is where we're going to be working next. However, I do need to go up to the workshop and get my rucksacks back. Rucksacks? Backpacks. Jeez. No, not 5, 4. So through these very much undecorated tunnels, obviously, are the areas that we are working in, and now it's time to sort out this lava farm business. In fact, I think somewhere around about this point here, which is actually down right at the bottom of our elevator shaft at the lowest level we've currently got, in that direction, which is basically underneath all of the things that we've been building. So it shouldn't be too bad piping the lava up there. And the other good thing about being just at this level here is it's not quite in that deep dark, which is just down here. We only have to go down a little bit in this very dark cave before we get into deep dark territory. And there we go! Yet another room that looks exactly like the other ones carved out from the inside of the mountain, ready for a lava farm. And I want to make it bigger. which means I'm going to need iron. Because, as I'm sure we've already seen, the lava farm is made of cauldrons, and cauldrons cost a lot of iron. But yeah, I need to make this a whole bunch bigger than it is so we can produce a whole bunch more lava so that I can power the power station as well as making all of that tuff. So first thing I'm going to have to do is tear all of this down, get it rebuilt, and get some iron, which I've already got, because I went to my iron farm and picked up 79 more blocks worth of iron. And because there's no point in wasting any of this lava, I might as well pick up as much of it as I can. And in order to save this lava, we're going to do the good old-fashioned little trick where we pop down a minecart, turn it into a contraption, just like that, so we can take it with us. And apparently then spit, oh geez, yeah, that's a, oh no, stop it. So in order to make this lava farm bigger, obviously we're going to be making the use of this room, which is basically the size of a chunk. If I hold on to my little chunk wand here, you can see that this chunk is loaded and these green lines around it signify the outside of the chunk. But I'm not going to be making it a full chunk size, although I'd probably quite like to, because we are going to need room in here to actually have tanks and things like that. So I think the first thing I'm going to do after putting in this lovely floor is dig up this lovely floor. And the reason for digging out that lovely floor and dropping it down a level is because I want this to be where all of the pipe is that the cauldrons are sat on top of. And by my calculations, this 9x9 hole that I've made should mean that we're going to have 81 cauldrons in total, which should provide us plenty of lava. And I have done my maths right, it is 9x9, that's good. What's not so good, however, is that I've only got 30 cauldrons, which only gets us to there, not even half. So I suppose it's time to turn all of this iron into ingots and see how many cauldrons we can make. A lot. In fact, that's more than we need. Excellent, so now we've got 81 cauldrons, it's time for the dripstone. And just like before, we're just going to have a whole platform full of dripstone with the little pointed fellows on the underside. Pointed fellows? Yeah, pointed fellows, mate. That's what they are. Not fellows. They're not alive. They might be. You don't know. And now what I'm going to do is put round a whole bunch of temporary blocks around the outside of this dripstone so that I can then place a whole bunch of copycat boards on the outside of it. And that way, when I fill that thing up with lava, we're not just going to have massive blocks sticking out the side, obstructing the view of this beautiful room that I've made. I might even put those at that level there, make it look a little bit more of a structure. Can't have that dripstone just floating. Might need some girders or something, or maybe even hang it all from the ceiling. I don't know, haven't figured that out yet. So now I can smash all of these blocks out of the way, and instead of just pouring lava in bucket by hand and then dealing with lava flowing and standing in it and all those sorts of things, I'm going to use a little bit of create to fill this thing up, and that means I need a hose pulley. And for that I believe I need dried kelp, probably pipe, maybe even a pump, and no doubt something else. I didn't need it. I was close. I got 1 out of 3. There we go, a hose pulley. And with this hose pulley, what I can do is just pop that up here a couple of blocks like that, stick a little handle on it and wind it down to the bottom, and then I just need to attach that to a tank full of lava and then add some power, which of course brings me back to my tank of lava that I just happen to have in my pocket, and I don't know where I'm going to put this. I'm thinking this side down here, and then just plonk that there and that there. Ah, yeah, I've got room for a 3x3 there. I think that'll work just nicely. Then we're going to need a pump and some pipe to come over to this hose pulley thing. And I think I might actually take that out of the top of the tank. Now all I need is power to that pump, and that pump facing the other direction. There we go. So where is power in relation to where we are? Oh, it's a long way up. It's a very long way up, but it's basically right below this farm area here, which is our andesite and diorite. So maybe I could take some of this, just dig down and send it all the way down there. It's digging down time. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, I have arrived. Here we are. Right into that corner. That's very convenient. Mini shaft. And then all we need is a gearbox. And now we've got power going down there. Brilliant. Then at the bottom we can stick on a vertical gearbox there, one of those there, and then a cheeky speed controller there, which is the wrong way round and I've got no access to it. So let's undo all of that and pretend I never said it. So down at the bottom all we need is one of those there like that, with one of those on there like that, and then one of those there like that. And now I can access it. And I guess I can send power out this way. Stick on a bit of a chain drive just there, bring that across here like this, and then we just need it up the back of there. Lovely. So I guess at this point here we'll just have another vertical gearbox, bring that up there like that, and then with a couple of cogs we can connect that to that pump, turn the speed up a bit, and watch this thing fill in with lava very quickly. Oh, look at it go. Saved me so much time. It's took me wages. Well, I know, but look, shush, I'm lazy, all right? Get rid of that, get rid of that, and get rid of that. And there we go. We now have a lava farm in place. Well, we've already got a cauldron filled up, so now all we've got to do is get the lava out of that and into here, which means doing a little bit of digging down underneath this big old tank. Put in a pump underneath it like that, and then just connecting our pipe to that, I guess, at that point there. There we go. And get rid of all of this extra power that we don't need. That's better. Now we've got room there for a 3x3 tank, which should be able to hold significantly more lava. And we can even go up one more. There we go. Tons of lava. But of course this lava job is nowhere near complete, because now that we've got the lava down here, we've got to now send it all the way back up there again, which is going to require a whole bunch more pipe. And before I do that, I want to make this not look like it's floating. Okay, I've put in a structure around the lava farm in order to make it feel a little bit more substantial and like it's not just floating. We've got a whole bunch of girders, we've got some more copycat boards, which I've put the industrial iron blocks in, and I think that kind of works. I've also put in a pump above the lava tank, as well as a pipe, which we'll need to look in FreeCam for, which basically goes a whole way up here, all the way to this tank here, which is where we're going to be producing our tuff, and then it squirrels round a little bit through these walls here, which you can actually see from some of the rooms, which I kind of like. Squirreling round a little bit more above this room here, which needs some brackets or something to make that look a bit better, but all the way up to behind our power station just here. And I've added on these little tanks just so that I can see when the lava's actually going to make it up there. But I guess first of all we should probably get power to this pump, which should be directly in line with our current power that's going to the bottom, and that should start pumping lava up that pipe, which it looks like it's doing. And now I just need to see if it's actually going to make it to the top. So the first stop we should go to is obviously our new area, which is just here, and hopefully we'll have some lava in this. Oh no, we don't have any lava in this tank. Great. Okay, fine. We're going to have to do a little bit of smashy to get back in there then. And figure out where the lava is getting to. It's getting to... Oh, it's going up higher than I thought. There. And I think that's actually closer to the power up here than it is the power below, so we'll just steal a bit of this power, I think. Now you might be thinking you should put a pump in there in order to pump the rest of the way, but actually we don't need the pump there, because a pump will suck a certain amount of blocks behind it and push in front of it. And considering we've got our power right here, it actually makes more sense to put the pump in at that point there, and then we can power that directly from this. And with a little bit of chain drive connected to that pump there now, you should be able to see, if I can get back through the wall, we now have lava in this little tank here. And again, using a little bit of cheaty FreeCam to fly up through all of this mess, we've got lava in our little one there as well. So we managed to get lava all the way up with just 2 pumps. So first things first, we actually now need to convert this steam engine into a lava-powered one. And in the last series, I would have used straws to do that, but I don't think I've got straws. Oh, I do. And there we go. Now we've got a rolling mill. We just need to power this. And I think for now, I'm just going to chuck it on... No. That's not where I'm going to put it. I think they're powered from the bottom. Or no, they might be powered from the side. I'll just chuck it there then. There we go. Now that's powered. Now I just need some bamboo. Oh, and I've got a bit of bamboo here. That's good. There we go. Now we've got 5 straws. Now what I need to do is get behind all of this and smash that mechanical arm to bits that we no longer need. Because all we're going to need to do now is get down underneath the blaze burners somehow. I guess we'll just dig down through this bit here. Whoa, geez. Come down underneath those guys. Oh, geez. Oh, no. If I give each of these guys a straw, they're going to turn into a slightly different type of blaze burner. And then I can just link this pipe down here. Hopefully without spilling lava anywhere. Underneath these things, they should attach, and that should hopefully, if I've done this right, start pumping lava up into those things. Oh, why have we got no power now? Overstressed? Oh, I forgot about that. Some people might say I didn't think this through. The best way of doing this is to power that pump down in the lava room with water wheels, so that we're not relying on the power from the power station to power the power station. And I think I'm going to do a trick that I did in one of the other rooms and actually bury these water wheels into the wall behind the fences, because I think it looks good and it means they're out of the way. And I think that looks fine. And connecting my new shaft to this system over here, 128 was the highest we can go, which should be fine just for a couple of lava pumps. So now we're self-powering our lava machine. We've got power going up there, but we're not out of the woods yet, because of course we're powering this other pump from this, which is still overstressed. So we're actually going to need to power that from below, which means we're going to have even less speed unless I add in another water wheel as well. So let's just bring up a whole bunch of shaft from all the way down there. And with 3 water wheels, we are now back in business. Excellent. And yes, everything is back on here, which means the lava is pumping up properly, which means we've now got infinite power and hopefully enough lava left over in order for us to actually produce a whole bunch of tuff. And the way I'm going to figure that out is to keep my eye on this tank for a bit. If the lava in here goes up over time, like it just did then we're producing more than we're using. However, if this starts going down, then that means our power station is using more than we're generating, and that's going to lead to big old problems. So, I guess it's AFK. Wait a minute, 197 already? Wow, this thing's fast. And around about 20 minutes later, we now have 225 buckets with the lava, which does mean it's definitely going up. However, it's not going up horrendously quickly, which means we probably can't steal too much of it to make the tuff. And considering we only get a 10% chance of getting zinc from that tuff, we're going to need a whole bunch of tuff to get that zinc. And that could be a problem. However, it also might not be. If you consider this lighthouse, which has an iron farm in it, which is literally running off 1 block of cobblestone generation. This 1 block of cobblestone generation, to be precise. I emptied this thing out about 3 hours ago, and we've already got over 1,000 more iron nuggets in here, which after turning this all into ingots and then blocks, is over 13 blocks worth of iron. So I probably don't need all that much tuff for this just to be running in the background, generating a zinc over time, and iron, and copper, and all the other things you get from tuff. So realistically, we don't need that much lava at all. But good news! It's time to get our create on and build the farm thing that I've been promising to build for the entire episode. So reminding myself of what we need andesite, diorite, and lava pumping into a basin to generate tuff. And I think we're going to be bringing in our andesite and diorite at this point here. Or maybe we should bring it in at this point here. Where's that train? I need the train. Excuse me, sir. Can I borrow you for a moment, please? Just pop me down there. You can look after this farm for a minute. I need your train, mate. So we could get the andesite and diorite off at this point here, although I kind of like it to come off along this back wall, really, to save us a little bit of space. However, we could just have our bulk sort of storage area here, and then do the farmy stuff around the outsides. So in order to get this stuff out of here, I'm going to use a passer block, and I need a filter as well. I'll get my little filter and throw some of those in there, stick one of those on the back of there and stick a filter on it, and that's going to pass any andesite and diorite out of that and into whatever we put it into, which for now is going to be a storage controller, and then we'll stick a couple of simple spruce storage boxes on top of that, and they can start filling up with all of the diorite and andesite from this truck. Now we've got lava over here, so I guess it makes sense to have the tuff production going on probably around about this point here somewhere. So we're going to need a pipe with a basin sat on top. We're going to need a press on top of that. We're going to need a couple of storage interfaces behind that with some depots into it, and we can use mechanical arms again to get that out of there, and then just another one on this side again, just like we did before, to get the tuff out. And that's it for tuff basically, apart from power and a few funnels and things. But I think I might have it coming along this way instead, and just switching that round a little bit, I think it fits better that way, and that's everything we need for this, apart from a bit of power and to link up these storage systems over to there. And I think we've got power behind this wall, so that shouldn't be too difficult to get hold of. And with a little bit of chain drive, we should be able to connect that to that, put one of those there, and then connect this one underneath that there, and that's... oh, jeez. There we go. Everything powered. Now I just need to get that to there. So a little bit of underground stuff this way a bit, and then just a little bit of this storage trim. And if I hop up here and attach that there to that, we should start getting the items out. And there we go. We've made polished what? Stop making polished diorite. I don't want it. Yeah, that would be the problem. It's totally ignoring all of the other ingredients in there and just making the one thing that I don't want. Great, I need some tuff. Okay, fine. If I put some tuff as a filter on there, throw some tuff into there, and connect this up as well, I guess that would make sense, wouldn't it? There we go. Now it's making tuff. We are making tuff, and that's going very quickly as well. I didn't expect it to go that fast. And now that it's actually got less than 64 items in there, and this thing's having to work hard to get the right items in there, that's going at a much more manageable speed, I think, which means it's time to process that tuff into all of the goodies. And I think we'll probably just do that in the middle of this room as well. Why not? Let's just have a belt there and a belt there. We'll stick one of those there, put a gearbox there and turn it into a vertical one, another gearbox here and turn it into a vertical one, throw a couple of crushing wheels on top of there, stick a little bit of trim and an interface there, stick a little bit of trim and an interface there, dig down underneath it in order to connect those trims together, dig down this way in order to connect those trims to the rest of the trim, put a brass funnel on there, filter that for tuff, put an andesite funnel over here, and that's just going to take in everything else. And I just need a whole bunch of storage boxes for all of the other items. And there are 6 of them. Flint, which we don't want, gold, which we do, copper, which we do, zinc, which we do, iron, which we do, and electrum, which I probably don't, but we'll keep that anyway. So I guess we'll just stick a bunch more storage boxes on here, something like that. So now I just need power to this, and I think we might get away with actually bringing the power over the top like this, sticking a vertical gearbox on at that point there, and then just powering that down if it's going the right way, which it is not. Huh, that's a shame. Okay, that's fine. We'll stick that there. And we'll come down like this here and we'll stick another one there, why not? And now we should be processing tuff. And there we go, look, we are generating now all of these items. We've already got 14 zinc nuggets. We've got a whole bunch of other stuff. That's all worked out rather well. But of course, that's not the end for this little area. As much as it's nice having these in nugget form, having them in nugget form is a bit annoying. So really, I want all of these as ingots or even blocks would be better to make use of the storage space a bit better and so that I don't have to craft it all myself. But before I do all of that, it's time for a quick lava check, and we are still accumulating lava in here by the looks of things. We're up to 317 buckets worth, so that means we've got more than enough lava to power our power station and produce all of this tuff as well. Oh, this is brilliant. Although this is significantly slowed down since we're now only getting one at a time, so maybe I should speed that up a bit. It is a bit slow. Jumping ahead a little bit, I've made quite a few changes, and I even added in some more things. I've doubled up the tuff processing system so it's mirrored on both sides. We've got exactly the same as what we had before, but there's 2 of them. And when the tuff is processed through these, it goes inside of that storage interface, and then it comes back out again through the crushing wheels, and all of the good stuff from the crushing wheels goes into the storage system. And then it comes into this system here to get turned into ingots. So as you can see, we've got some funnels here with all of the little nuggety things on. The nuggets are going to go across these drains, through these funnels into the little basins there. The basins have all got presses above, and then there's a mechanical arm to take the finished items off of these depots here and put them into this funnel here, which will put them back inside the storage system. But the storage system doesn't have any room for the ingots just yet, so I guess we should add a few more storage boxes onto here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should be plenty. And all I need to do is just link this bit of storage trim here with this one there, and that should all start connecting, and there we go. We're now making the correct items out of all of those, which means we're now collecting a whole bunch of ingots instead of those. But why are we only getting 4? Should be getting 5. Where's the electrum? Oh, apparently... Oh, I've done gold nuggets twice. I'm a moron. Let's switch this one out for electrum then. And that means we now have a fully automated metal processing system coming all the way down from the top of the mine and all getting deposited here. And the train has been coming backwards and forwards and depositing more and more tuff into this system, or at least andesite and diorite, which is getting turned into tuff, but it seems to have vanished again. And I don't know where it's gone. It's not here. Oh, it's here. Why are you stuck here? You're not collecting anything because there's nothing to collect. Oh, you just need your schedule fixing, don't you? Does that mean you're not dropping off cobble? Cobble is full. Oh. Huh. And oh, that'll be me digging through the ceiling then that's completely broken this system. That's fine. And I was going to say, while I'm in here, I'll remember to do the girders for that pipe, but I didn't bring any with me. But now the train is gone. It's been able to fill up and drop off at the next section, which means it can then go to the next section and fill up more of the diorite and andesite stuff very quickly. This is amazing. And off he'll go again and deposit all of that down here into our new little storage system. Come on, sir. Here he comes. That's going to fill up these little storage boxes. That's gonna get our little smashy things going, creating us a whole bunch of tuff. That's all gonna get ground down into a whole bunch of nuggets, and that's all gonna get squished into a whole bunch of ingots. So all I've got to do is get those ingots to our storage system and tidy up this wall of storage boxes because I don't like it, and tidy up this input point here because I don't like it, and figure out a way that we're actually going to get those on the train because there's no room for them on the train. But we'll worry about that in a minute. So in terms of bringing things up to our storage system, obviously we've got a big old storage system here with room for plenty more things, and we've also got the big old storage system in here, which doesn't have a massive amount of room. But this isn't the storage system I'm talking about. The storage system I'm actually talking about is a brand new one that I haven't even started building yet, that's going to be living out on the surface up here. So the minecart's going to have to come all the way round past all of this stuff that I still haven't built yet, that I was supposed to build 3 episodes ago, into a big old storage building here where it's all going to get collected so that then it can be picked up by a train at a train station, which I also haven't built yet, to be taken somewhere else, wherever that place may be in the future. Who knows? I've no idea, but that's the plan at least, or it always was. So I guess I still got an absolute ton of stuff to do for this area, including decorating this entire mine shaft, which I haven't even started yet. And that means I'm going to be live streaming. Yep, I haven't live streamed in probably over a year, but I'm going to be back at it, multi-streaming on Twitch and YouTube if it all goes successfully, finishing off this mine, getting everything tidied up, ready for us to start moving towards our new area. But don't worry, peeps, we haven't quite finished in this area yet. We've still got a whole bunch of builds to do on the surface. But as far as the mine's concerned, we're now processing absolutely everything I intended to. Apart from the stuff that I was planning at the very bottom of this mine. But we'll have to see if we get to that, because to be honest with you, it's really not that important, and it was just going to be filler content, and I've kind of already run out of space for... Oh, jeez. I've got no filler left, guys! Speaking of filler, how is our iron farm getting on? Has it been... Oh my goodness, it's full. It's flickering, which means it's just about using the exact perfect amount. Brilliant!